Guys in the Dark. I was a bartender for about 2 weeks once. I'm allergic to alcohol, only when consumed, and didn't have any real interest in learning to mix drinks. But a friend really needed the help and offered to teach me a new skill, so I agreed. The worst mistake ever. It was a shitty little bar in a town of around 5,000 people. Even for a town with only 3 bars, 2 of which changed owners every couple of months, it had a reputation. Hard asses, suicide cases, and young idiots trying to win a dare went to this bar. Cops were there every single night of the week, and sometimes repeating visits on the same shift. A definite nightmare. In fact, there were only 3 murders the entire 10 years that I lived in this town, and every one of them was linked to the bar in one way or another. I witnessed one of them, or at least I think I did. A week and a half after I started working, one of our regulars had came in. He wasn't a tatted up parolee, biker, drug dealer, or any of the normal shit, but people knew not to screw with him. Whenever someone started shit with this guy, they got a free ambulance ride. He never got charged though, because he would always get them into tossing the first punch, and he quit the moment that they hit the ground. I guess that's legally important, because the cops always said that it was self-defense. Anyways, one night a couple of off-duty cops had come in. They still had the uniforms on, but not the utility belts. No radios, guns, mace, any of that kind of stuff. I guess they didn't want anyone trying to start shit with them, and use the badge to ward off the bigger idiots. It worked though. Everyone kinda went quieter as the cops had strode in, watching nonchalantly as they made a beeline for the guy nobody screwed with. My spidey sense was tingling. Something was up, though I was too new to say what. I started pouring beers and tried to pretend that I didn't feel like a pair of tigers had just strolled into the bar. Seriously, it skeeved me the fuck out. For 5 or so minutes, the cops keep it pretty buddy-buddy with the fight ender. Then they start arguing. It's almost nothing at first, a little flush on their cheeks, whispers that were more urgent than a friendly chat required. The regular seemed to be trying to ignore them, like everyone else was. Then he started getting drawn in, arguing back, shaking his head, out of curiosity and self-interest. I poured him another beer, and then walked over for a casual, "Is everything all right?" All 3 of them tried to fry me with their gaze. Whatever the hell was going on, I definitely wasn't welcome. Point taken. I went back to slopping beer for the rest of the dangerous pigs. Did I mention how these assholes love to beat each other up? 'Cause it was mind-blowing to a 20-something with a strange desire not to get knocked the hell out on a regular basis. It was like they hadn't even heard of concussions, or brain damage, or even jail, or any of the million things that could have kept them out of this bar. It didn't take very long after that. A fight had broken out. The 2 cops tried to take on the regular at the same time, shouting incoherently as he pounded them both with effortless ease. He was a machine. Swing, connect, turn, repeat. 2 guys, 2 cops. And he wasn't holding back any more than he did for some of the meatheads with roid rage. Before I could even react, one of the cops was laid out cold, and the other one had pulled a knife. He got a lucky jab in, and the regular had went down, clutching his abdomen. TV really gets the blood wrong. It was so bright, squirting between his fingers. The waitress had called 911, made the report, and tried to get the bouncers involved. They'd seen the knife and weren't having anything to do with it. The stabber cop roused the other one, applied basic first aid, and then helped the ambulance crew get it taken care of. For a few days, I checked the paper and the local news. I wanted to hear about the aftermath. I mean, off-duty cops stabbing a guy in a fight that they started. Come on, this is America. The regular didn't come back before I left, and the cops never showed up in any investigation or breaking news. No bar fight, no hospital stories, no crime scene investigation. I heard a couple of the other regulars wondering about it too, but by the time that I'd quit, less than a week later, nobody had any answers. My friend who owned the place said that he checked it out. Couldn't find any answers either. I don't know that I believe him. In any case, that was the end of my bartending career. I collected my last check, told my boss and friend to go screw himself, and never call me again, and I haven't looked back yet. I still wonder about the regular who got stabbed, though. He was one hell of a fighter, and I'm pretty sure that he's enjoyed busting heads, but nobody deserves to just disappear. I'm a guy who bartended at a joint for a little while. A nice middle-aged couple had come in. They're staying at a hotel in the same complex as my bar. Only customers in the place that night. We have fun talking. They get pretty wasted. The husband asked me what I think of his wife's boobs. They are pretty good. She asked me if I want to feel them. Husband said that I really should. So I feel her huge boobs. It's awesome. They start asking me questions about my sexuality, such as if I like to have my ass played with, and if I've ever been with a guy. They're both hitting on me pretty hard, especially the husband. They ask if I want to come back to their room so that the husband can screw me while the wife watches and masturbates. I politely decline. They leave, and leave a room key behind with a note saying, "Just in case you change your mind." A cute regular girl comes into the bar constantly. Always hits on me to a creepy degree every single night. She was cute enough and everything, but clearly a little bonkers. And she got pretty stalkish, as in finding where I live, leaving me panties on my doorstep. One night she comes in wearing a skirt, with no panties. She sits back far enough to ensure that I have plain view of her vagina for many hours. She tries to come behind the bar and grab my junk, then tries to unzip my pants, so that she can blow me in front of everyone. I decline her offer. She behaves herself for a little while, and then disappears for a while to the bathroom. She comes back in silence, but stares at me slyly. My phone suddenly blows up, and I have dozens of picture messages from a number that I don't know. It's a tons of pictures of an ass with a butt plug in it, fingers in it spreading the lips, tits, everything spreading. Other such dirtiness, but the pictures were obviously taken by somebody else. I saw that it was this girl who had been creeping me for months in the pictures. She asked me if I liked them, and as honored as I was to get pictures from a hot yet crazy girl, I didn't really acknowledge them and tried to let her down easy and say that she was cut off. Then a heavy-set lady comes in, sits right next to her. It turns out that it was her mother. Her mom asks what I thought about the pictures. It was her mother who was the photographer in the bathroom with her. Apparently the apple did not far fall from the tree, especially when it came to her being crazy. I could go on forever about some of the stuff that I've seen. I'll try and think of some more of the better ones that I've seen. As a wrap-up, I have broken up tons of fights, outdoor blowjobs, and the most insane shit that you could ever imagine in your life in my 9 years of bartending. Be nice to your servers and bartenders, please. We deal with some of the craziest situations and people in this world. I've had bottles thrown at me, knives pulled, guns pulled, men and women both being lewd and harassing, and also stalking me. It's a crazy life, but it does pay my bills. I was working in this bar back in college. It's a hugely popular bar with the college gate crowd, especially the university whose campus was literally right across the street. The place was always busy, especially on Mondays, for crying out loud. There was never a dull moment at this place. One Friday night, after a big MLB game, the place is packed as usual. Locals and college students always made for a very interesting and volatile mix. It's around 1 a.m., and almost everyone in the joint is heading towards that fun stage of drunk, along with the sprinkling of assholes that are proper drunk. Cue McAsshole number 1, and college douchebag. Number 2, sparking off about some girl. The two guys get into a big shoving match, and luckily the bouncers pull them apart before fists can really start flying. We go to chuck them out, but trouble arises because of their respective groups of bros wanting to get into it, and our bouncers who are really wanting to avoid a brawl. Aside from the traditional tatted-up bouncer, we also hire college kids to bounce as well. One of the college kid bouncers was head cooler, and he gets the bright idea to have McAsshole number 1 and douchebag number 2 to arm wrestle each other to decide who stays and who gets stepping. As I said before, we wanted to avoid a brawl, and he felt like this was the best way to diffuse the situation, according to him at least. College douche started the whole problem anyways. Faster than you could say Jaeger bomb. College door guy had a table, and 2 chairs set out in the middle of the main door area, and ushered McAsshole and douchebag to the chairs. You two are going to arm wrestle to decide who decides to stay and who goes. Whichever guy loses has to get his buddies and get the hell out. We don't tolerate fights, and we don't want any problems. You guys are going to settle this like men, right in front of all of these people. College douchebag gets his ass beat, and then goes down pretty quickly to McAsshole. It was hysterical, and the entire bar loved it. The douchebag was totally humiliated, grabbed his fratty boys, and got stepping pretty fast. In all, it was the best fight diffuser that I had ever seen. I made sure that College Cooler got some nice tips that night, and some free drinks after work. I still laugh my ass off whenever I think about this. This particular dive bar was down in Texas. Typical Cheers style, everyone knew each other kind of place. But every now and then, I would get a customer that I've never seen before. These people were generally kind of shady, but always felt comfortable. I had one guy sit down at my very slow, and therefore quiet bar, and commenced to call a sex chat line. He started out by entering his credit card information onto his phone. Then, "Oh yeah, baby, what are you wearing? Oh, of course, I like that." I had no clue what that was all about, but it never got too bad, and I could see both of his hands. He didn't try to go to the bathroom at all. Another guy called up his drug dealer and started to try to get him to sell this dude some meth out of my bar. I threw that guy out, though. I know, double standards. We had one female regular who was not too attractive. Young enough, but just unfortunate. She was always trying to get the male regulars to pay attention to her, but that was not about to happen. One night she was wasted, and I found out later, pushed an unsuspecting friend of a regular into a woman's room, pinned him to the wall, and gave him a blowjob. I looked over to the bathroom right as she was walking out, wiping her lips, and he was zipping up, looking very confused. I asked him if he was all right, and he replied, "I'm fine. That chick just blew me." Meanwhile, she was kissing all the guys' regulars, goodnight kisses on the cheeks. This is common in the South. When Homeboy went back to the table and told them what had happened, they all realized that she basically smeared his man juice all over their faces. I didn't see her much after that, thank God. I own a pub, and constantly around late nights we're lucky and have a great clientele. Minimal incidents for how busy it happens to be. In the same building in the back, there is a smoke and lasers type nightclub with a punk venue in the basement. One night a big band was playing, so there was a lineup down the stairs to get in and see the show. This drunk kid decides to jump over the really fancy looking railing onto the crowd on the stairs below. So he does the whole one hand on the railing and then leaps below. His pinky finger was between the top of the railing and the small piece of metal that was part of the railing design. As soon as he got over the railing ripped his pinky finger right off. When the guy lands on the people about 8 feet below, he freaks right out, starts punching everything in sight. Blood goes everywhere. The bouncers grab him, no idea that his finger is stuck in the railing, and that they can't figure out why there is so much blood everywhere. It was a good solid 20 minutes before the police arrived, and they happened to find his finger. No idea if they were ever able to reattach it, though. There was a stone-cold gourmet chef from Italy that owned a bunch of restaurants in New Jersey, and then moved to Panama Beach, Florida to retire, which meant 6 12-hour shifts instead of 7. The food was amazing, but the waitresses there were typical Waffle House girls. Our special today is the gnocchi, kind of stuff like that. It was bartending on the weekends, and my friend Rachel was at the bar drinking wine, and we were just talking. This guy having dinner with his wife, kids, parents, and in-laws comes into the bar, starts flirting with her. He's been drinking. He offers her a shot of top-shelf vodka. She reluctantly accepts. $7. She drinks it, and then thanks him. He goes back to the table. After a few minutes, motions to give her another shot. She says that she doesn't want it. so I pour her a shot of water. She lifts the glass, lifts it towards him, and downs it. A few minutes later, he motions for yet another. Another $7 shot of water. She lifts it, and then leaves in on the bar. The table finishes their dinner, loads up the kids and old folks into the van. The man comes back in, leans against the bar, and then starts flirting. The wife comes in and touches his shoulder. "Herb, let's go. We're waiting." He takes a shot of what he thinks is vodka, throws it full into the wife's face. She runs out completely humiliated. He turns around, cool as can be. "Please," as if to say, "Now, where were we?"
If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, like, and hit the bell for notifications on future videos and become a stalker of the night. And I'll see you next time.